Good afternoon, class, and welcome to episode 3 of our video blog series. This is your host, Alex Keller, and today we're just going to jump right on into the third PowerPoint, Coaching Techniques, Creating Awareness, and Conquering Beliefs. So there were two very key elements that I definitely spent a lot of extra time doing some outside research on. Two things that really stuck out to me that I experienced firsthand, and both of these things are definitely something I'm going to carry with me as I move more into that coaching side of things. So without further ado, try to keep this brief. We'll hop right on into it. 3 assumptions of coaching. That was where I started off. The coaching's assumptions were something I thought were very key to point out and definitely elaborate on. So, jumping into the 3 assumptions of coaching, we had number 1, people possess their own answers to their individual challenges. Number 2, people possess the potential power to make their intrinsic answers become reality. People and organizations can have their visions, dreams, and goals become reality. And now, these are all the assumptions of a good coach. Someone that, as a coach, these are the 3 things you want to assume when your client, your student, or your athlete comes in to talk to you. You want to be able, you want to hope that you can build them up to a point to where they believe in themselves. And this is where we jump into the importance of the coach's assumptions. So, number 1, if these assumptions are not true for you, it's going to be a challenge to empower another. If you don't believe that others have the answers themselves, or don't have the power to make the answers become reality, or don't have the vision, dreams, and goals for any of that becoming reality, then what are you doing as a coach? What are you expected to take on everything, all their problems, and solve them yourself? That can get very taxing if a whole bunch of people come to you with all their problems. Number 2, on the importance of the assumptions, if you are to coach others, you need to believe in them. Stumbling on the words, but that is such a very, very profound point. If you are to coach others, you need to believe in them. If you want that, if you believe that, if you've built them up properly, you should, as a coach, be confident enough in their ability to where they could lead their own group of followers. For example, a captain on a team. If you're going to give someone the title of captain, you got to trust them a certain amount, or a lot in most cases, to where you trust that they're going to do the right thing all the time, not just some of the time. So if you are to coach others, you need to believe in them. Also, if you were to believe in them, you have to first believe in yourself. If you're going to be a coach, you have to believe in what you're teaching. You have to believe wholeheartedly that this is the correct way to do things. This is what I recommend. You have to believe in who you are, the experiences, the choices you've made, before you can project that onto someone else. You have to believe in yourself before they will even believe in you. Think about when you were a kid or an athlete on a team. You walked into your coach's office. There was never you never had your coach second guessing or like stumbling or like well, I don't know. What do you think? You don't have that. If you're a coach, you don't have that. You are confident in them that they know what to do, and then they are slowly growing you as the athlete to become self-sufficient. Moving into the final importance of the coach's assumptions, we have, if you have had the experience of discovering your own answers, it'll be much easier to believe that others truly have their own answers inside of themselves as well. If you've ever gone through some self-turmoil, or you were in the situation that your athlete is experiencing, where you had to come up to your coach and ask hard questions or just get advice, if you've ever had a conversation similar to that, it's going to definitely help you through personal experience, because you can definitely relate empathetically. Hey, I've been in your shoes. Here's what we can do. Here's what's going to help move forward, right? So those are definitely just the importance of coaches' assumptions. If you're able to relate with your athletes or your clients firsthand based on your own experiences, even better, because then they're just going to start to trust you more. But again, going back to episode 2 of this series, this is something where your relationship has to build over time for them to buy into you, and you conversely buy into them. So that was the coach's assumptions of coaching that I wanted to point out from this chapter. The other side, probably the bigger of the 2 sides, were the 2 sides of yourself, where they break it down to the I can side and the I can't side. So your optimistic and your pessimistic sides of your personality. So all of us possess the I can't sides, right? There's always a situation or something where it's like, man, I can't do that. For me, if I get up on top of a bridge base jumping, no way I'd ever do it, one. But if I was ever up there, that would be an I can't situation for me. But the book and the PowerPoint go on to describe that these I can and I can't sides of yourself are almost like a pie. And it's a really good analogy because if you're looking at a pie, depending on how you divide it up, it can go an infinite number of ways. And the same thing with your I can and your I can't sides. Those percentages will change based off of your personal experience, your personal history, your significant experiences you've gone through, maybe a life-changing event, and whether or not those positive or negative sides have been reinforced over time. So if you've always had coaches that are, willing to support you and build you up and say, no, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can. Especially, when you're in your juvenile phases and you're in youth T-ball, youth rec leagues, and, the easy way is to quit and just say, I can't do this. I'm not doing this. I'm done. But then you have your coaches that are constantly like, no, you can do this. Let's go. You have teachers that will constantly reinforce you. So those experiences as a child and through early elementary school and everything, those definitely have an impact in determining where your baseline is for this I can and I can't side of yourself. Wow, a lot of words there. Place more focus on exploration of the student's beliefs and creating awareness rather than trying to find solutions or imparting solutions. And this is just going to now, hold on, let me find this. We're jumping around a little bit. But if we jump into this, these are the keys to helping students increase their awareness and explore beliefs. Place more focus on exploration of the student's beliefs and creating awareness. Rather than trying to find solutions or imparting solutions. Number 2, remember that the student's voice should be more prevalent than the coach's voice. And again, this is a point which really goes back to episode 2 when I talked about, you don't want to make the conversation always about you. You want to keep the student talk through their issues. The more they're able to start vocalizing their concerns, the words will come to them. They may start scatterbrained at first, but eventually they find out what they want to say, and usually just getting it off your chest helps. But you gotta, as a coach, you just gotta make sure they're the ones leading the conversation. You're pulling from what they've said, rewording them into statements, right? Using their verbiage, using whatever to relate more with them and make it and really drive the point home further with them. And then moving down this list, going to number 3, the coach should create a space for the student to explore his or her own awareness, and the coach should provide opportunities to engage in deeper thinking, learning, and discovery. Again, the coach has to provide the opportunities for the athletes to succeed, provide them with chances to get better. Maybe it is extra practice, who knows? Whatever it may be, exploring the awareness, exploring and helping the students find their identity, especially going through high school and into college. It's such a crucial time. You really got to help the athlete, guide the athlete into finding themselves and finding out who they really are. But I'm pretty sure that kind of wraps up everything for this chapter. Let me just tab through real quick. We'll check out, just make sure on this 2 sides of the self, because this was something that definitely hit me hard when I was reading it, because this was something that I went through similarly when I was in high school and everything, because I started out wanting to always do video and graphics sort of work, doing the creative services gig, but I never felt confident in what I did. I was always low self-esteem, low self-confidence, so it took me kind of putting my neck out there, exploring a little bit, until I kind of realized that, there are things I can do to get better every single day to get me to where I want to get eventually. And, also by putting my neck out there, it also allowed me to connect a lot with the people in the industry, and also allowed for a lot of people to help positively reinforcing my I can side. So I would take a risk sometimes, try some new things, and then if some people liked it, that kind of reinforces the, hey, you're moving forward, you're trying new things, keep going. So 2 sides of the self definitely can move. It can change every single day, but this is something where you want your athletes, you want your clients to be more optimistic, and kind of morph them into more of that I can side. So that wraps it up for episode number 3. We'll see you all in 2 weeks here for episode 4, 5, and 6. Wow, we are just rattling through these, and we'll see if we can't build from this moving forward. Who knows? We'll see. But as always, hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.